Hey everybody, it's Kelly. I'm back with another layout again today. This one is another one that I made for Shamel's Clear the Desk class. This is my second kit that I'm using, and I need to get making another kit. You'll see this much later than I'm recording it, but I did a scrapbook retreat, so kind of that stopped that process for me, but I need to get another kit made, so I'm scrapping from kits because this is a great way to use up older supplies. I'm not going to tell you how I made the kit just because that's part of the paid content for the class, but definitely go to shamel.com and look up Clear the Desk. It's fabulous. One of the best classes that I have ever taken, and I've taken a lot of classes, and I've taken, I think, all of her classes. So anyway, back to the layout. I used that background paper, which is a circle with like the months on it. And that is from Chickadee Crafts, the Yippee collection, and it's the Oh Happy Day paper. And then that polka dot paper that I'm using there is from Dear Lizzie Fine and Dandy. It's the Stripey Straws paper. Then I added that border strip, and that is from Chickadee Crafts 365, and it's the Smell the Roses paper. And that border strip says Life is Pretty Awesome, which I thought was really cute. This is a photograph of my grandson riding a bus for the very first time, so he was enjoying it. So now I'm looking for something to mat that photo on, and I decide I like these two papers together. They were just scraps in the kit, and I grabbed them because I thought that might work. And then I'm thinking about using those two cut aparts, and that's not going to end up happening. They're just not going to work for me. I do like that yellow piece. I like that shot of bright yellow, and I'm going to figure out how to bring that in, but I'm not going to do it with that particular piece. So the aqua stripe paper there is from Dear Lizzie Fine and Dandy. It was just a extra piece though, so I don't, it was a scrap, that's what I wanted to say. So I don't know what it particularly exactly is. And then the constellation paper is from Dear Lizzie Serendipity, and that was from the 12 by 12 paper pad that I have of that. All right, so I'm still trying to figure out how to arrange that paper, how I'm going to mat, what I'm going to do. You know, I'm thinking about using that house card, the globe card. I like the globe card because of the link to school. This is not a school trip. I'll tell you about that when I have a free minute. And I cut that tag from one of the cut apart pages from Chickadee Crafts, but I decided not to use that. It was a little distracting, and it has orange on it. The ampersand is in orange, and I don't have any orange on this layout. The yellow is kind of a yellowy orange, but it is definitely not orange itself. So I know what I want to do with the border strip, so I'm just going to put that on here and make sure that, you know, it's there. And I think I have that cut to about 5 or 5.5 inches for the Fine and Dandy polka dot paper. So now I'm here playing around, thinking about maybe chopping it up, which I will actually use that on another layout at another time, but you may have already actually seen that. I'm not quite sure. I did a lot of videos one weekend, and I kind of put them up so you had sort of a variety between some wedding pages and these pages about my grandkids and that family. Oh, actually, wrong, totally forgot. I have a layout right next to me and I missed this. So I am actually going to use that card chopped up, sorry about that guys, as a little extra piece on the mat here. I just want that little bit of reveal of yellow because that yellow is so prevalent in the page there. And I am turning this scrap here of the stripy paper so that the stripes are running vertically. I just like the way that looked. I tend to like to do that versus horizontal, unless they're big stripes. And then I found that cut apart that says there's always something to smile about, and I'm thinking I want that down in the bottom to bring some of that really dark aqua down there. And that came from Chickadee Crafts, the 365 paper. It's the daily schedule paper. So now I'm looking at some of these cut aparts here. And these are from Dear Lizzie Fine and Dandy. It's the Pretty Packages paper that they're coming from. And so I'm thinking right now that I might actually just leave these together but I'm not quite sure. So I'm going to something else. I decided I do want to use this constellation paper, and I'm going to use that just as a little piece, you know, a little extra piece there. And the reason I decided to do that is, even though there's not navy on here anywhere else, that photograph is very dark and the seats are actually in navy. And so I think it really does a nice job of calling your attention right to the paper there. So I did think about using that cut apart there. That again is from Chicken Crafts with a phone on it, because the phone is navy, even though this has nothing to do with navy. But I'm going to decide not to do that. So now I am going through the die cuts that I have from the Dear Lizzie Serendipity package, and I found that adventure one, so I'm going to use that. And then I selected these glasses, but I'm not going to use them. And then I found these popsicles, and I decided, or I think they're popsicles or ice lollies if you're in different parts of the world. So I am going to use those on here because that actually relates to this story, which I'll tell you about in just a second. And then I found that yellow heart cut apart there. And that came from the Chicken Crafts 365 daily schedules. So this photo is of my grandson's first time on a school bus. We were actually going to a festival that the city I live in has, and because it's hard to park out there when they have so many people there, we took a bus. And he was so excited to take that bus that I had to take a picture. He was just so excited. That's my stepson sitting next to him there, but he just had this kind of smile of wonder the whole time we rode it, and he thought it was really cool. Now, this photo at this point now is 1.5 years old, and he is actually in school and rides a bus now, so he probably is not quite as excited about it as he was then. So while I was telling you the background story of this photo, I did decide to cut apart that those two fine and dandy like labels there, and decided to use the yellow one. So now I have the yellow surrounding the photo from those two little, that card that I cut apart. I have that little heart cut apart there, and then I'm using that journaling cut apart, and that's where I will journal eventually. So I'm trying to use up stash here, and I have my Dear Lizzie Serendipity stickers here. And so I decided to use that sticker that says daydream, but it's not really a daydream. It's just a kind of like a little dream for him. So I'm going to take the word day off of it and just use the dream. So that came from the Dear Lizzie Serendipity accent and phrase sticker. So one of those ways that as I'm getting to the end of sheets, I just want to use these things up in any way that I can. And if I see a use for them, I'm going to use them that way. So that's what's happening here. All right, so now I kind of had that clustered down. The other thing I did that I didn't tell you about is I added that little ice cream cone sticker. And that sticker is from the Amy Tangerine +1 accent stickers. That's where that came from. And I believe the heart is from the same sheet. There's a heart that I'll add on to that ice cream cone as well. All right, so now I am backing my little heart cut apart there with just a, you know, just a little bit of foam tape there to make that pop off the page. It is a pretty flat page, but I popped up the ice cream cones, and I popped, or what, not ice cream cones, I popped up one of the popsicles, and then also that cut apart there. All right, so the Daydream is not sticking as well as I would hope. This is an older product line, and so I'm going to just add, and it's so thin, I'm just adding a little of my Scotch Tacky glue from my fine line bottle there. If you have problems with that coming out, I have the smaller nozzle in my fine line bottle, but if you're having any problems with your glue coming out or clogging in there, just add a little bit of water, just a couple drops of water, and give it a little bit of a shake, and that will help it. I've never had problems since I've done that. So anytime I add glue to that fine line, I do that. So now I'm thinking about other things that I might be able to add in, and I grabbed that little kind of red die cut up there at the top. That is from a Dear Lizzie collection, but I don't know which one. When I have just a few pieces left, I just throw them all in one sort of thing, in one envelope. That's what I want to say. And then I was thinking about using that that globe die cut up there again, but it just felt really heavy on top there, and I think it was. And I'm really glad now that I'm seeing this in the video form that I didn't do it, because it is too heavy for up there. It's too dark compared to the lightness on the bottom with all that white. So then I just took that extra little piece and added it in, just so I get a little bit of that red up on top, because that red is appearing in the bottom paper, so it's kind of bringing it all together. So I'm looking now for some letter stickers, and because I have the word dream down there, I want to put the word school above it. So I go to these aqua colored mini letter stickers from Webster's Pages. It's the painted passport alphabet stickers. I love these because they are so tiny. You know, I don't need more letter stickers, but I'd like to buy these in all the colors that they offer them. I think I have them in wood and yellow and maybe green even. All right, guys, I'm just about done. So here's a still shot and a couple of detail shots. Hope you're all well, and I'll be back with another layout again soon. Bye.